I just wanted to talk about, where I've come from, where I hope to be going, and it's all has to do with trails. Everyone has trails. You have trails to go to good places, and you have trails to go to bad places. And most of my life, I followed those trails to go to bad places. I was a drug addict for 20 years, and it almost took my life away. And I really thought there was nothing left. But it turns out I was just stuck on a trail. It was the only trail I knew, so it was the one everybody I knew was following. So I really had no idea of how to get off that trail. A lot of my recovery began on a diamond frame bike, on city trails. I made a deal with God that, I'll fix my body if you fix my mind. At that point, I just couldn't see how I'd even make it a day. Everything was inside of me was dying. Every cell in my body was screaming. It just wanted more drugs, and I just had no idea how to do it. But I know what happened from not trying. I lost my wife, I lost my son, lost my house, I lost my job, I lost my mind, and I really just seen no way out. But in that bottom, I really started to see something. I seen my son being raised without his father, dying a drug addict. And I really think the one thing that the people need to grab hold of, and what I needed to grab hold of, was the missing ingredient. The missing ingredient to life is living life without consequence, realization of where your actions are taking you. And if you continue that path, it will just lead to death. But the trails have been so much to my life. It's been a new beginning. Every time I'd get angry, I'd just go out there and just start pumping miles on the trails. Or every time I just didn't know how to handle life, I would just get out there and just start pumping miles on those trails. The trails have really, city trails at that point, really have been my medication. And today it is still my hope. It is still my fun. I have realized that, I guess, being a drug addict, you really need that sense of adventure. And I think you just kind of push it to the very edge. When you're speeding along and doing methamphetamines and just going 100 miles an hour and not understanding why you want to. I think I just had an adventurous heart and a spirit that needed that adventure. And today I use that, and I constantly seek out new trails and new adventures and new things, new stimulations, and these things are helping me. They're changing my life. And I've had to quit drugs because I never wanted to lose my wife, and I certainly never wanted to lose my 6-year-old son. And I knew I had to change because I couldn't live without them. And I worked the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I sought every recovery program I could find, every book of recovery, every book of inspiration, everything from mountain climbers to extreme runners to all of these people have had answers placed in their lives by the trails they've chosen. And today I am so grateful. My wife, actually, she did divorce me, but she did walk back down the aisle with me again. And I got to be there to raise my son. And I got to be there to learn what it meant to be a good husband, learned what it meant to be a good father. And what those things mean is learning how to take care of yourself. You can't just sit yourself in a box and think everything that comes out of that box is going to be good. You have to come out and take time to clean your own spirit, your own heart, take a moment to reflect on what's important to you. The missing ingredient that I needed to connect to actually recover, was that my son was going to have to live without a dad. And I seen in my heart that him looking over my grave, seeing and saying that this is my dad and he died a drug addict. That was the missing ingredient. I never wanted that, and I seen that for the first time. Today, I've had missing ingredients that have skewed my life into a different path, to a different trail. 5 years later, after drugs and alcohol, I quit smoking, and I was right back where I started from. The pain, the suffering, the heartache of trying to quit something that has such a grip onto you. It has a grip on every cell in your body. Everything in your heart just wants to die without it. So I got on those trails, and I pumped that old diamond frame over and over again, and got mile after mile. And because of the idea that I didn't want my son, who is now 10, 11, 12, I did not want him to live without me. That would be the ultimate act of selfishness. So the idea of focusing towards selflessness, and trust me, I am a long way from being perfect at that, but living sacrificially. You know, the idea is, would you jump into freezing water to save a stranger? A lot of people say they would. So I always ask them, would you jump into the same freezing water to save your family? And they would say, certainly yes. Then I would ask them one more time, then jump into that freezing water right now. Die to yourself. Move forward. Move forward like you no longer exist, except for a co-partner in a relationship with the others that you know. Finally, weight loss. I'm really seeing that one for the real truth of what it is now. I've tried to lose weight over and over and over again. Got up to about 200 pounds, and I tried every diet I could get a hold of. The reality of it is I pedal a lot of miles and I don't lose weight because I am still not willing to give up what I enjoy the most, and that's ice cream and sugar. But then I started realizing that if I want to still be there for my son's son and my grandchild, do I want my grandson to live without a grandpa? And the answer is no. That's just selfish. I want to be there as long as I can. But I'm stuck on a path and a trail of food, day in, day out, eating the same types of food, trying to eat diet food, trying to eat the right foods, coming to find out that they're sprinkling sugar on all of these things. They're sprinkling sugar in the form of dextrose and all these other 61 different names for sugars, and they're just sprinkling them on everything you eat. It's just like they're sprinkling cocaine on your food. And I'm starting to realize, even though vegetables, wow, that's so hard to even wrap my mind around. But what am I willing to do for my family, for my peace of mind, for moments like this where I get to enjoy so much? Well, I'm a trail triker. Trails through life. Today, I get to ride a trike, which is just so much fun to me. Doesn't have to be fast, and it's certainly not slow. You know, today I get to ride these trails, make a little bit of film, If there's anybody out there suffering, if I can help in any way, I feel your pain. I've been there. I felt lousy for living in basements and doing drugs, not knowing how to talk to my family, not knowing how to love my child, not knowing how to be a good husband and love my wife. So if there's anyone who's suffering and is serious, not just feeling poor me, my family left me, poor me, don't they see what I'm going through, poor me. But when they're starting to say, I hope my family gets someone better than me, I pray that God gives them someone that will take care of them and that will love them the way they deserve. At that point, then you're ready. Get a hold of me. Get a hold of help. Something you can't do alone. There's all forms of recovery groups, counseling, church-based, spiritually based. The idea is, I tried for years to do it on my own, and I couldn't do it. So quit trying to do it on your own. Humble yourself and ask for help. Start a new trail in life.